Hang on, did you send it to all of us? Oh, right here. Nope, that's instructions. Oh, was this? Oh, here it is. You did. Thank you. Okay, got it. And these are all ready to rock and roll, right? Okay. Oh. Oh. Well, I would have been impressed if I was in different ones, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I need one of these fancy sheets. I can get it, I just have to wear it.
And there. They kind of wanted us to sit over there, but I can't hear anything on there.
Are you reading?
I am reading.
Oh, perfect. Hey, did you get that thing I sent you last night? I didn't mean to send it twice.
Oh, so you talked to Matt last night, but I get the cold shoulders.
Okay, from now on, you better be ready.
What did I just sign up for?
But you probably didn't get
I
a
haven't
chance.
looked at it
You're
yet.
gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
All right.
Yep. Oh, what is this?
Cheers.
I think it's just the one in here.
We don't need that. I don't think we need that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's for construction podcasting. So for your starting tweeting.
Every time I see those in offices, I kind of cringe sometimes. I'm just like, oh, that's shameless.
A podcast committee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like if that ever comes up, just get up and leave.
And you aren't
Adam said
changing
something about
from
really
your-
wanting to start one.
put that in there.
I'd
Oh,
describe.
I didn't know if you had it like.
I find you pretty entertaining most of the time.
Yeah, it's not that interesting.
So where are you gonna?
You run out of material. And like,
Just have nothing to talk about.
That's what one of my 5 kids did
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I mean that's not work or construction.
Mhm. Got it.
Let it be noted that Tracy's cutting it pretty close.
Oh, I can't make it. Can't not be tight on it. I put it down. Okay, now I'm okay.
You only have lots of trips from here.
No, I did not. January, I'm going to, Streetlights and cameras.
Yeah.
Cameras, like, cameras. Oh, like when you're changing cameras? Yeah. Yeah, you go out and then that's what. Yeah, it is. They're all one thing. But wow. Well, it helps that she. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
First year too, it gets pretty tight here. Out of Hamilton. Goes out.
I think we're trying to cram one for like breaks and stuff. And then after.
Got a few more minutes. I have 1:57, so 3 more minutes. We'll get it kicked off. Yeah. I saw that. I thought he was coming.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. I said he was. Maybe he went to your old office.
I guess he didn't see that explicit email for this address. Then. Well, you need to go check 159 or I can check the box, the vestibule again, but the road one. I haven't seen anybody really try to pose her. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying we got 2 minutes, so I'll try to be a little more time. All right, I got 2 o'clock. Welcome everyone who's here, and those that are joining us online on behalf of Spring Lakes, TMP, and OAK. We appreciate your interest in Bid Pack 3, our high school media center and commons renovation. Just going to go through some boilerplate stuff here. We got 12 bid categories. We're going to start with category number 1. There are 2 project alternates that I'll be reading. We will acknowledge any clarifications or voluntary alternates, but we're not going to read those numbers. If there's not a bid security attached to the bid, we will not read it. Personal checks are not accepted. We will have post-bid interviews per our date of Monday, the 18th. Everyone has a prescribed time for their bid category, so please make sure you're available for that if that opportunity arises. We'll be doing those with the low apparent bidders. If we deem it's necessary to contact the next bidder, we will. Please don't contact Spring Lake or CMP if you have any questions. Reach out to me, and we will plan to have the bids results posted on our website tomorrow. Just a quick reminder for those that are here: if you can silence your phones if you haven't already, that would be appreciated. All right, bid category number 1: selective demolition. First bidder: Extreme Demolition. Base bid $78,875. They've acknowledged the addenda. Alternate number 1 is an add of $10,850. Alternate number 2 is an add of $3,500, and they have endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Muskegon Quality Builders, for a base bid of $76,945. They have acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $9,500. No price associated with alternate number 2, and they have endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Specialized Demolition, a base bid of $144,500. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $5,400. No pricing associated with alternate number 2, and they have endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, number 2, masonry. First bidder is Brigade Masonry for a base bid of $97,715. They've acknowledged the addenda. No cost for the project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder for masonry is DC Buyers Company for a base bid of $156,400. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is JK Masonry for a base bid of $108,035. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Cortman Masonry for a base bid of $59,890. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, general trades. First bidder, Nugent Builders for a base bid of $354,000. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternate pricing, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Triangle Constructors for a base bid of $438,338. They've endorsed the schedule. No project alternates. They acknowledge the addendum. They've endorsed the schedule. No project alternates. Looks like they do have some clarifications. Next bidder is BCI Construction, base bid $339,000. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for the project alternates. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Muskegon Quality Builders for a base bid of $385,000. They've acknowledged the addenda. No project alternates. They have noted a voluntary alternate. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Baltimore Construction for a base bid of $313,600. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates. They do have a voluntary alternate, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Distinctive Group for a base bid of $418,000. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, JKB Construction for a base bid of $382,500. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Van Eck Construction for a base bid of $378,449. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, number 4, doors, frames, and hardware. First bidder, automatic equipment and sales for a base bid of $34,740. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for the project alternates. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is architectural openings and access for a base bid of $49,290. They do have a clarification. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for the project alternates, and they have endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, access, window, and door and hardware for a base bid of $63,525. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for the project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is S.A. Mormon and Company for a base bid of $48,910. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is architectural hardware for a base bid of $50,180. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid pack, number 5, LPDA. First bidder, Central Ceilings West for a base bid of $385,950. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate number 2. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $115,000, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Phoenix Interiors for a base bid of $346,345. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $78,000. They do have a voluntary alternate as well, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Ritzma Associates, for a base bid of $373,990. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternate number 1 pricing. Project alternate number 2 is an add of $87,331, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is Shepherd's Brothers for a base bid of $422,592. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for project alternate number 1. Project alternate number 2 is a deduct of $103,229. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, JKB Construction, for a base bid of $422,204. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternate for number 1. Project alternate number 2 is a deduct of $80,000, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, 6, flooring. First bidder, River City Flooring, for a base bid of $137,006. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $206,616. Nothing for alternate number 2, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Welsh Tile and Marble. Base bid, $175,763. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $259,673. No pricing for alternate number 2. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Ritzma Associates. Base bid, $145,790. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $228,660. No pricing for alternate number 2, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Johnson Commercial Interiors, for a base bid of $149,844.31. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 1 is an add of $230,068. No pricing for alternate number 2. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, painting. Genesis Painting. Base bid, $45,860. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate 1 or 2. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Halligan Painting, for a base bid of $91,220. They've acknowledged the addendum. Nothing for project alternates. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, H&H Painting, for a base bid of $62,385. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for project alternates 1 or 2. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Vork Brothers Painting, for a base bid of $59,640. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Dimension 4 Painting, for a base bid of $58,815. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category, number 8, fire protection. First bidder is Total Fire Protection, for a base bid of $52,965. They've acknowledged the addendum. Nothing for alternate number 2. Alternate number 3, an add of $800, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Triad Fire Suppression, for a base bid of $47,890. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternates 1 or 2, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is Grand Rapids Fire Protection, for a base bid of $43,693. They've acknowledged the addendum. Alternate number 2, no pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is an ad of $3,920. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is Brigade Fire Protection for a base bid of $49,970. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is an ad of $1,650. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category number 9, DVC Controls, Grand Valley Automation for a base bid of $54,090. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for the project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category number 10, Mechanical and Plumbing. First bidder, Van Dyken Mechanical, for a base bid of $295,650. They've acknowledged the addendum. Nothing for project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, DHE Plumbing and Mechanical, for a base bid of $334,400. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Vans Mechanical Contractors, for a base bid of $339,900. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is Mall City Mechanical for $315,500. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bid category 11, Testing and Balancing. First bidder, Control Solutions, for a base bid of $4,100. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder is Third Coast Test and Balance for a base bid of $2,340. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Air Economics, for a base bid of $4,335. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternates, and they've endorsed the schedule. Last bid category, number 12, Electrical. First bidder, Hookstra Electric, for a base bid of $264,800. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deletion of $7,900. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Klein Electric, for a base bid of $280,275. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $8,000. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Excel Electric, for a base bid of $242,820. They've acknowledged the addendum. No project alternate number 1. Alternate number 2, they have a value of $9,400. I'm assuming that's a deletion, and they've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Van Kempen Electric, for a base bid of $306,850. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for project alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $7,000. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Parkway Electric, for a base bid of $239,800. They've acknowledged the schedule. No pricing for alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $8,500. They've endorsed the schedule. Next bidder, Basin Electric, for a base bid of $309,717. They've acknowledged the addendum. No pricing for project alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is a deduct of $8,800. They've endorsed the schedule. Thank you all that joined us here in person and virtually. Appreciate your time and interest in the bid, and we'll be reaching out to you soon. Thank you.